What's up and welcome back to my channel, the best place to help you get started building your business and brand online. And today we are talking none other than how to create videos. In this particular video, we're going to be breaking down 3 things. Number 1, the stuff you need to get started creating videos. Number 2, the step-by-step process. And then last, I'm going to give you some pro tips to help you crush it on your journey. All of that coming up. So if you are pumped, then hit that thumbs up and keep on watching. Part 1 of what we're going to be talking about is the equipment that you're going to need, the stuff that you're going to need to actually start recording videos. So the first thing obviously is something to record on. So this could be either a camera or you can record it simply on your phone. Now I've created other videos about this, talking about my low budget setup just using my phone. Did another video about my new camera setup going into 2020. I'll link those down below, but just a short little snippet of these. I have the Canon M50. It's a mirrorless super lightweight camera, but for the longest time I recorded from my smartphone, and I'm pretty sure that my dad is like the only person in the world that still has a flip phone, so chances are you've got that already covered. First and foremost, aside from just something to record on, you're also going to need to think about audio. Now when I first got started, this could be something as simple as just a little clip-on microphone. I used this one forever, just plugged it directly into my phone, clipped it on myself, and then I had just great audio from there. I'm using a different Rode mic in this particular video, but again, some type of audio, and this could be super cheap, like less than 20 bucks. It doesn't have to break the bank by any means. You also have to think about lighting. It could be just a simple ring light like I'm using right now, or you could just shoot in front of a window if it's a sunny day. The next thing I would recommend getting is some type of tripod. Now this is this is like a cheaper tripod that I ended up getting on Amazon, but it actually came with a little light already attached to it that you can move around. And again, just think about something to stabilize your camera, because the worst thing, like the one thing that you don't want to happen is recording like just holding it and then you're making people sick because the camera's moving around. So you just want to make sure that you have some type of tripod or something to stabilize your video. The last thing that you're going to need is a place to actually record your videos. And if you're just starting out, most of us don't have an entire room dedicated just to filming. So just find some place where there's not a ton of clutter in the background, there's not a ton going on, and just start recording. You could also think about recording outside. I have literally even recorded videos in my car. Probably wouldn't really do that going forward because I'm not really like a vlogger, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I would just find some place clutter-free that you can record. Once you've taken care of all the stuff that you need, phase 2 is where I'm going to be breaking down the 9-step process of creating like an idea of a video all the way through the upload process. So grab your pen and paper and let's get started. The very first step is you need to decide what your video is actually going to be about and create an outline. If you struggle when it comes to even coming up with ideas in the first place, then after this video, be sure to check out this one, which is all about where to go to find content ideas so you aren't struggling to come up with them last minute. So once you have your topic, then what you want to do is either grab a notebook, or you can do it if you're more of a digital type of person. Feel free to create the outline on your computer. But when you're doing the outline, one thing, like the process that I go through, is number 1, I think about what the title is going to be. So you want to come up with some type of compelling title. You can do a little research on YouTube. That's one place that I go to kind of look at how other people are titling their videos. I also use Keywords Everywhere, which is another tool to kind of let me know, okay, when it comes to this title and I'm using these different keywords in my title, how many people are actually searching for this in a given month? So that is going to kind of dictate what my title is going to be. I'm more than happy to do another video later going more in depth about titles, but this is part of the outline process that I would consider. So if you are just starting out like on YouTube, I would focus more on doing tutorials, so how-tos, because this is something that people are actually searching for. And I know on my channel personally, my tutorials always get me more views than any other video. The second thing you want to think about when it comes to your outline is thinking about the goal of the video. I see a lot of people, and it's who, when they're creating posts on other social media platforms, they're just creating content to create content, or even people who've been around and been creating videos for a while but feel like they aren't really growing and they're not really getting anything from producing these videos. A big thing that I always look at and ask is, what is the goal of the video? Always have to start with the end goal in mind. This should definitely be a part of your outlining process. So is the goal to, you know, grow your email list? Is the goal of the video, is it to point to a specific product? Is it to point to a specific service? Is the goal to, you know, grow your channel or grow your social media platform? So always think about that and kind of have that in mind. And with this particular video, I have been doing an entire series all month long, all about how to grow on YouTube, how to get started on YouTube. And I've done a lot of videos, and the entire goal right now is just channel growth. From there, you want to write out your talking points. Now, it's totally up to you how you want to outline your videos. I don't personally script out every single word because I just think it's going to be too distracting whenever I go to record. But instead, what I do is I kind of just think about some different things that I want to cover on that particular topic. I'm also thinking about like what extra scenes I want to add. Are there any B-roll clips that I want to add? And basically all that is another video overlaid on top of this one. And that's something that I've been doing a lot more lately in my videos. And that does go into the planning process. With engagement being a big issue for a lot of people, you can also, during your outlining process, think about, okay, when I'm going over this tip, are there particular questions that I want to ask my audience to get them to engage, to get them commenting? That way you don't get to a point where you're creating videos, but then you're like, oh, well, I'm doing the video and then I can't think of a question to ask, and so I'm just rolling with something off the top of my head. So just think about that in advance and jot that question down, put a little star by it so you know when you're on that particular topic to be sure to actually ask the question. Your call to action is something else that you want to think about when it comes to videos. Now, I'm not going to get too big or too in-depth when it comes to call to actions. I'll link this video down below, which is all about how to use effective call to action. But basically what this is what step do you want them to take? After someone is watching your video, what's the next logical step that you want them to take? Step 2 is simple. Get ready. Fix your hair, do your makeup, get dressed, because I find that whenever I look good, and this is my version of good, nobody else's version of, you know, just my own, but when I feel that I look good, I am more confident on camera, and I show up differently than when I feel like I look like a hot mess. And let me know if this is you too. Step 3 is setting up your equipment. You just want to make sure, obviously, that everything is working properly. You've got your batteries charged, and I know that may seem like a stupid step that I probably shouldn't have even mentioned, but coming from somebody who has been in the middle of recording a video and her batteries has died on her camera, and my battery has also died on my phone before. So you just want to make sure that everything's good to go. If you're shooting with a camera and you've got a memory card, make sure you've got plenty of space on it, and that you don't, because that's the worst thing too, is you're sitting here in the middle of recording and then all of a sudden up pops a box that says your memory card's full, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, I was in the moment, and then you know, you're not prepared. So you just want to make sure that everything is set up, you're prepared, fully charged, and ready to go. Step 4 is recording the video itself. And when it comes to recording a video, the kind of flow that I would go with is 3 parts. There's 3 parts to it. So part number 1 is the intro or tease, as you could see at the very beginning where I told you what the video was going to be about. So tell people what the video is about and kind of tease what's coming up. Step number 2, or part 2 in this process, process is where you're delivering the content, and then part 3 is the call to action, how you're going to end the video and tell them the next step that you want them to take. There's also 2 different ways that you can record a video, so it's totally up to you. I have done both of these ways. Way number one, I don't even know if that's a thing, but it is right now, okay? So the first way that you can record is sitting down and recording the whole thing, like you're face to camera. You don't stop recording. You give all the tips. After you're done, you take it out, you upload it to your computer. That is what I did for the longest time. However, I have recently switched to the second way that you can record your video, and that is recording your video in bites, in sections. For example, I recorded my intro, I stopped recording, took my memory card out, put it in my computer, uploaded it to my editing software. I generally do like a soft edit, although I do have a video editor. I still do a soft edit, so I'll take it and I will do a quick edit, and then I will go back, put it back in my camera, and I will record like the next tip or the next section. So I record in bites simply because, number one, if there are any issues, like I have had audio issues before where I recorded an entire video, took me forever, and this part can sometimes be grueling, but I recorded an entire video, got it to my computer only to realize that there were audio issues through the entire thing. It was not savable, and I had to go back and redo the whole thing. That is a huge headache. And so with recording it in sections, it makes the entire process easier just to make sure everything flows. So again, totally up to you which way you want to do it, but I find the way that I'm doing it now is much easier and smoother. Once you have your main content, your main video done, the 5th step that you want to do is record any extra scene. Now, this may or may not be something that you want to do, so if you don't want to record like any B-roll or overlays on the video, totally fine. But if this is something that you have planned into the process, go ahead and shoot any scenes while you're already done and made up. Step 6 is edit the video. Now, there's lots of different software out there that you can use. I am personally an avid Mac user, and I have always used a super simple software like iMovie. Get it on your phone, you can do it on your desktop. If you do not have a Mac, you can go out there, research, find a software that's simple, easy, but when you're editing, this is when you're just cutting out mistakes, you're going in and you're adding overlays, whether it be pictures or the B-roll scenes. This could also be you adding music or whatever other elements you'll want to use to spruce it up. Step 7, export that sucker to your computer. Now, because I'm not a fan of using still shots from your photo for your thumbnail, step 8 is simple. Take the time to grab some extra still images, some extra pictures to use for your thumbnail. Step number 9 is to upload the video to YouTube. And although I'm not going to go into the entire upload process, if you have not already, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell, because on the next video, I am going to be taking you through the entire process of how I upload my YouTube videos and optimize it for maximum exposure. There are some settings that I change. There's some things that I don't do anything with. It may not be the most like fun or fancy topic, but it's still something that you need to know how to do. Once you have it uploaded, step number 10 is to promote it. You want to pimp that video out anywhere that you have a presence. We're on the home stretch. Now that you have the equipment, you know the step-by-step process, I do want to give you a few little golden nuggets before we're done. Pro tip number 1, your first several videos are going to be your worst, so don't sweat it. Know that you can always get better and you're always going to improve as you go, because the more you do it, the more confident you're going to be, the more comfortable you're going to be. And I understand that when you're first getting started, it is not comfortable, nor is it natural to sit here and talk to a camera. Which brings me to pro tip number 2, and that is, as you're getting started making these YouTube videos, don't get discouraged if your first several videos, your first 20, 50 videos aren't getting a ton of views. You just want to make sure that you're focusing on creating the best content that you can create for your ideal customer. And if you stick with it, I know that it will pay off. Pro tip number 3, don't be afraid to experiment. Experiment with different types of content. Experiment with different types of thumbnails, different types of titles, different types of just video styles, until you kind of like figure out what it is that you really like what your style is. And it's taken me years to figure it out, and I'm continuing to do stuff to try to improve and get better. So Experiment away, my friend. The best time to experiment is in the beginning. Pro tip number 4, go and watch other creators. This is one of my favorite things to do and a big reason why I feel like I've been able to level up when it comes to the overall video quality. But go to other channels and look and see what things do you like and start incorporating those into your own videos. I would go and I would watch Peter McKinnon, who, by the way, I freaking love him, even though a lot of the stuff he talks about, I have no clue what he's saying. I just like to watch him as a creator, and that's really helped me like start incorporating like music into my videos. I study and I figure out like, what is it about this person that just keeps me coming back for more, even though it's a topic that I don't even care about. There was another content creator that I was looking at, and I was trying to figure out, you know, like what is it that kind of keeps me watching, and I noticed that she was kind of jumping around between scenes, and therefore that's something that I started doing when like during my recording process, so I don't just stay face to camera the whole time. I started kind of moving the camera around. I started adding B-roll, again, music, and also think about things that you don't like. Maybe there's something that you notice somebody else is doing that you don't want to do. Hey, that's great as well, but keep learning, keep incorporating. And I want to know, what are your biggest questions, your biggest concerns, your biggest setbacks when it comes to creating videos or doing videos? Leave that down in the comments below, as I am gearing up to create even more content just for you. If you did get some value on today's video, do all the things: like it, subscribe, hit the bell. But most importantly, while you wait on the next video, be sure to check out those other 2 videos that are going to be popping up around the screen that'll help you out while you wait on the next one. With that being said, I hope you have the most productive day, the most productive week, and I'll see you back here on the next one. Bye for now.